Hey everybody, welcome to episode 63 of DuckCast. I believe it's 63, right? These numbers are starting to mean nothing.
They've meant nothing for a while now, dude.
There's just
Last
so
season
many.
you kept doing that so often. Welcome to episode da da da. Hell, wow, isn't this amazing? And then we just talk about how many episodes.
I don't think we really did that.
Wow, this is very underwhelming. Well, you did a lot, and I was just following along with it. But like, it's just.
I think our thing last season mostly was us asking if it really was that episode, and then us going on to YouTube to check.
Yeah.
I don't think I was like gloating about how many episodes we've done. Really, this isn't hard. We've been doing it for 2 years, and we get on Skype or Discord and just record a conversation for an hour.
We got to a point where I uploaded the last episode, and I was checking to see. Alright, like, what was the most recent episode that I put in the DuckCast playlist, because I always double-check before I put in the recent one. And I forgot to put in the last one, so it's like, I usually do that for every one. It's like, this is the one time I forgot to do the last episode in the playlist, so 2 episodes missing. And then I finally got them in. Saved.
We really need to get...
I think after the... That would have been big.
I think after this episode, we got to get the guests back, because I'm looking through a bunch of older episodes.
Yeah.
Just felt reminiscent. I wanted to listen to some old DuckCasts. I kind of skimmed through them, and I'm really missing the community we had with DuckCast. It wasn't a big thing, but we had episodes that would get like 50 views. We had Hail Hydra. We had occasional viewer who watched a few episodes, but we also had friends of ours interacting with the show. There was like a legitimate interaction there. I think where it best shows is in episode 20, where we have like 10 guests on.
Maybe we just don't have friends anymore. Ever think about that?
Yeah, I think it's just me and dude.
Damn.
I actually do have a funny story. Speaking of which, speaking of friends, it's really weird how it's going to transition into the conversation about friends, because the way the story begins is I got a CAT scan today. No, I didn't talk about this on DuckCast yet, and I'm really not going to go into a lot of details, because I don't know how smart it is to talk about medical issues on the internet like this. But I heard a decent bit about this, and he's just cracking up by the fact that I had to get a fucking CAT scan, you fucking sociopath.
No, it's like, how does that lead to friends? I'm still thinking about that. Like, where is this? How? You made friends with a doctor?
I'll tell you. It's a very small, like, slight turn, you know?
Okay.
You're heading into traffic, and it's just like this very weird turn. All right. So, I had to get one. I'm not really going to go into why. It's probably nothing, but it is something that, I've kept an eye on for 2 months. Nothing changed. So my doctor's like, okay, CAT scan. I'm like, all right. I felt very much like Walter White. It looked exactly like it did on Breaking Bad. That was my only reference to what a CAT scan looked like. I have family members who have gotten CAT scans, but I've never been there for them or anything. So Walter White going in and out of the CAT scan, I think they do it 3 times in the show.
They do
like
stuff
the
pretty realistically on both shows, Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
And I was just thinking the only 2 things I thought about during this CAT scan, it was only about 2 minutes. It wasn't sometimes they can go on for like 30 minutes apparently. Mine was only 2 minutes long because there wasn't a lot they were checking. And the only 2 things I thought about during those 2 minutes was Walter White, like the scene from Breaking Bad, and I got to do DuckCast after this. I'll talk about how this reminds me of Breaking Bad. So I get in the car. People who have been talking about some of like my health concerns lately, the whole reason I had to get a CAT scan in the first place, was mainly you, Austin, and Pinsack. A few other people heard about it, but I'd say you 3 are the people who've heard the most about it, probably, aside from family members who are obvious about it. And I messaged Austin in the car because he knew I was going to get the CAT scan today. I said, well, if I got it, and I felt like Walter White. So this is where the connection finally comes in. And then Austin said, and this will sound a little bit mean, but to be fair, he's been like a very good friend throughout all this. He said, hey, if you do have cancer, you can be Walter White. And I'm like, okay. And then we started giving each other out roles, Okay. So like I'd be Walter, Austin would be Jesse. We didn't give everyone a role. We only did 4 friends. We gave Stuart the role of Hank and Walter Jr.
Stuart, both of them? Or did you like
No, you're Walter Jr.
Oh, see, that's the part
you're Walter
you liked.
Yeah.
At first I heard like Stewart is Hank and Walter Jr. I'm like, what?
No. Stuart's Hank, and you're Walter Jr.
Great. Hi, Dad.
We don't even need a Gus. We don't even need a Gus. Gus isn't an important character. Skylar isn't an important character. It's all about that Walter Jr. So that was my first topic. I'm confident that it's fine. They were asking me all these additional questions before I had to get it, and literally, I didn't fall under any of the other symptoms they were asking about. So I'm pretty sure I'm good. I'm going to be anxious because I'm not going to be hearing. I'm potentially going to hear the results on Tuesday, and it's Thursday today. So that's 4 days I gotta wait before I can hear anything. And even then, it might not be ready. It's just definitely not going to be ready tomorrow. And then we got a 3-day weekend, so I'm not going to hear back from them during that. So I'm just going to try to enjoy the 4 days. Tomorrow's going to be a little rough because I'm going to be working all day. So I won't be able to I'll be able to properly distract myself. But where I work, there is often moments of just sitting waiting for things to render. But aside from that, I've talked about my anxiety a lot on the show, and that's definitely starting to finally improve. I think when we started season 4, actually, I told you that was getting worse, but I don't think I said it on the show. I think I said it to you privately, but it is starting to get better for me now. I've actually been doing a decent job controlling. I haven't even started therapy yet. I still need to do that, but yeah, that's my first story. I thought that'd be a fun little way to open up the show. I got a fucking CAT scan. Hope I'm not bumming anyone out. Anyway, you said that you had a full circle conclusion story to tell me about.
We could get to that eventually. I mean, I don't know if that's I feel like it's a very weird following topic for something as realistic as what you were just talking about. Maybe we should do the movie stuff.
I'm not trying to don't take it too seriously. It's fine. I guarantee you there's nothing wrong.
Such a transition though, I'm just saying.
I know. It'll be fine though. So,
which movie you want to talk about first, though? Your recommendation.
Oh, do you want to do more movies? I was gonna save the movie discussion for halfway through the show. Honestly,
we should
get I don't know. I don't know if we should start the show with the movie talk because some people
I've only got one other thing, other than the movie stuff.
God,
I don't even know if you would be participating too much in that topic.
Well, I'll say one. I'll ask a few questions. Just some of our recurring topics, I guess. I don't know if I want to jump to the movies right away, but I guess there's not a lot. If there's not a lot to talk about, we'll just do that. But one, see any more Disenchantment?
A bit. I'm still bored with the show, honestly.
All right.
I saw what you meant. The show was at the end of episode 1. Gonna lead somewhere, and then they just kind of cut that and go back to the castle. And I feel like it should have just been a journey throughout the world that they're trying to create, this universe. But no, they're stuck in this town now. Still, I feel like we got enough of the town. I don't know.
We do get a lot of different locations every episode, and there is episodes that continue into each other where they're leaving the town, and they don't come back in that episode. But, yeah,
I've only seen episode 3 or 4, I think. I remember watching the beginning of one episode with the mom slithering in a room, and then I just stopped watching after that. I was bored at that point. It was the beginning of an episode. I just couldn't. I don't know. A few episodes. That was it.
It's not popular.
Yeah.
It's not popular. The only people I've seen who've liked it, I think the only other person I've heard of saying they liked the show so far, other than myself, is my brother. Okay, there's 2. My brother said it was okay. Which is not even a great response. And Mitzi really likes it, I think, because she keeps posting stuff about it. So Mitzi, it's just us 2.
You know what? You know what though? For me, a critic that maybe you shouldn't even listen to that much for anyone that likes the show. But I'm just not into anime comedy shows anymore. Family Guy, American Dad somewhat, but the rest, even South Park, I'm not. I'd rather watch a live action.
I love animated comedy TV shows.
I used to when I was younger a lot, but nowadays no.
I think South Park, Family Guy, The Simpsons, obviously they all peaked a long time ago. South Park is still tolerable, but it's it's pretty bad.
Even things I used to like I'm just not into. If they're on, I'm I wonder if The Office is on. That'd be cool to watch. Rather that.
But comes, you have to like think of this too, because nowadays I know that you're not a fan of all of these, but I know you like some of them. Like now we got Bob's Burgers, we got Rick and Morty, we got BoJack Horseman. So like animation is definitely, it's still got a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot coming out. There's a lot to offer. There's even some good kids shows out there. I think Adventure Time is coming to an end finally. I keep hearing friends talk. I never got into Adventure Time. I just know people loved it. I am considering. Here's one more thing we could talk about. This is just a random thought right now. I was talking to my little cousin because we talk about TV shows all the time when we meet up. Me and all my cousins do. And there is one. I kind of stopped watching like kid shows a while back. Like I made an exception for Avatar and Gravity Falls. But I think within the last like 7 years, those are the only two children's shows I've actually like been like super invested in. I did watch a little bit of Steven Universe, but I'm like very mixed on that show. But I am considering getting into Regular Time. I hear so many good things about that. I've seen clips that genuinely made me laugh, and I'm thinking this one might be good. I might check it out.
Yeah, I remember some episodes being pretty funny. Yeah.
I mean, it gets a story too. Like, there's like this big movie. Like, I feel like I feel like it's a show that rewarded its fans. Like, they got 8 seasons.
I didn't watch like most of the show, but like I remember hearing a spoiler of like something that happened during the last episode. And
I know.
Someone who didn't, not to spoil anything, but like as someone who didn't even watch the show that much, but saw enough episodes, I was like, no, that was a good character.
It's just weird too, because I've only seen like episodes that I think my cousin told me the story isn't really a thing until the last season. Like it's not like they have continuity, but it's not like there's no big story until near the end of the show. But I also hear the movie has nothing to do with the big story. Like that's completely a standalone thing. It does seem
like a very odd show, though. Like even the assortment of cast of characters. Like, there's a gumball machine, there's a bird, there's a raccoon, there's an ape.
Well, apparently it wasn't a show that it wasn't pitched for a kids show at first too, but like it got down to a kids show. That's what I hear about it at least. And I think it's also had like a long history. Like it was a show that was being pitched around the time SpongeBob was being pitched. Like it has a history, I don't know. And now they have this new show that's adults coming onto TBS or something. I forget what it's called, but it's the same guy and like the animation style is identical. But it's all human characters this time. He's not going to pull a Seth MacFarlane and put in the talking bear or anything.
Yeah.
All of fucking Seth MacFarlane shows, dude.
All? Like some kind of animal, you mean?
Yeah.
Or
all
alien
for one show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that character. I mean, but even American Dad had Klaus too, so they did have the talking animal.
Yeah. That's right.
I like American Dad. Family Guy, classic episodes I still kind of like. Cleveland Show, I watched like 2 episodes, hated them, and never gave it more of a chance. But
you feel like you could have done more of a show with Quagmire? Because I feel like he was the fan favorite out of the 4, other than Peter. Like give Cleveland a show.
But this is what I hate about.
I don't think it would have been good. I'm just saying, like out of them all, like I found Cleveland pretty bland to make a show out of.
They made a joke about this on the show, and it's true, and it's just kind of weird that they joked about it. I mean, like Family Guy's definitely not a PC show, but it's like, Quagmire is a rapist. There are jokes where he drugs women and takes them into rooms. Like that's why I don't like it when Family Guy tries to take the characters. If they didn't do that,
then maybe they could have gone
the show. And you know what? It's a comedy show. I'm not going social justice warrior here or anything. It's a comedy cartoon. I'm not offended by it. But why do they try to get sympathetic on Family Guy sometimes? There's episodes where you're supposed to feel bad for Quagmire, but it's like him being it's a cartoon. I'm diving too deep into it. I just don't like when Family Guy takes itself seriously. They do that a lot. They have a lot of scenes where it's dramatic, zoom in, pan. I don't know why I called it a zoom in pan. That doesn't make fucking sense, but it's just slowly zooming in.
Yeah.
I don't know. The show rubs me the wrong way sometimes. I do like a lot. I mean, I have very fond memories watching Family Guy. I don't want to shit on it too hard. It's clearly a show that a lot of different personalities are going into, and none of them are really working together on anything. But anyway, Let's go to our movie discussion. Our conversations are getting weird this episode. This is a weird episode.
Just to clarify for anyone, I hate doing the whole putting spoiler on screen thing. Oh, doing this time good. I'm just gonna say right now, we're gonna be talking about The Departed and The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, right? Is that the name?
Yes. All of that minus the at the beginning. All of that minus the at the beginning. I'm pretty sure it's not. Well,
I always forget that. There's always one or two words of that title I forget. If it had a better title, people would know it more.
I kept messing it up too. I hear you, dude.
But we're gonna.
A lot of people just call it Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
As like an abbreviated.
So we're gonna be talking about those two movies.
Most people know.
If you have not seen those two movies, do not watch this episode. The rest of it, at least. So yeah. Or go watch them on Netflix since they're both on Netflix. Just
pause this episode and watch two amazing movies.
They're really good. Which one first?
Okay, yes, I'm right. There is no "the" at the beginning of the title. That was worth checking.
Just to tell you, I've only seen The Departed once, and that was a while ago, long while ago. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't rewatch the whole movie.
I would rewatch it though.
Yeah, I didn't rewatch Eternal Sunshine before the episode, but I did rewatch a lot of scenes from it, just like to get some.
I remember at some point during that movie. I remember at some point during that movie thinking like I should rewatch this a second time because there's things that now that I know certain things I could rewatch them and see them in a whole different way, you know?
Oh yeah, I plan a rewatch on that very soon.
It's definitely got some rewatchability, for sure.
So so which one do you want to talk about first? I'll let you pick. I
guess Spotless Mind, since that was the most recent one I've seen.
Personally. Yeah, and I did recently see that too. I watched it a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna turn a light on. It's getting kind of dark in here.
Okay. First of all, I gotta say, very trippy movie. Like, if you're someone who gets high and watches this, you'll have a really fun time.
It reminds me in many ways, and this is a movie that I've only referenced on this show. I don't think you've ever seen it, but it's a movie called Synecdoche, New York. And I swear it was just from listening to the music. I was like, oh, this has to be the same composer. And it was the same composer from that movie. It gave me a lot of vibes from that movie too. You're right. It's a very trippy movie. There's just so many cool scenes. I think one of my favorite, just visually with the music playing in the background, just the dialogue, everything combined. It was just, I love the ending scene where the one beach house that they trespassed in, like in the memory, just starts falling apart as they're like talking, and this is it. Like she is finally being completely wiped out of his mind.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a really powerful scene.
Just to go kind of like a bit step by step here.
Yeah.
I remember when I turned the movie on, like the first thing, when he's waking up in his room, knowing nothing about the movie except for the little summary. Like I knew like they're forgetting each other from their memories. I didn't know how that was going to work. I didn't know there was the whole organization yet at this point in time.
They reveal a lot.
I'm seeing him wake up in this what looks like a dirty place, and his car is scratched up and everything. Life's going wrong for him. I'm thinking at this point, maybe there's a past to this. Maybe there's I'm wondering, like, are they gonna tell us how he got this way or whatever? That turned out to not even be the point at all. He meets this girl, blah blah blah. All this stuff happens, and it kind of goes from this past, present, future kind of thing, or present, future kind of thing, something like that, of her breaking up with him and him talking about this stuff, and then him going to the place to do all this stuff. It was like very jumbled everywhere, but it kind of worked. It kind of piqued my curiosity. And I'm kind of glad it wasn't like straightforward, because like after all the trippy stuff happens, you get re-caught up with all the other stuff that happened in the beginning of the movie, saying like, oh, this was stuff that's happening after all this other stuff, like after they met and after all the stuff that happened to his mind. So I found that very interesting. The curiosity definitely worked out. Like it made you curious for a reason, for a good reason, not just for nothing. It paid off.
It's a movie that puts you. It's a movie that puts you in a very I won't say random scene, because it makes sense where it opens, but it puts you in a scene, and then when they cut to the other stuff, you have no idea when that scene took place. Like, did it take place like a few years ago? Yeah. And then you find out that no, it took place after this entire movie.
And like that one scene where in the beginning of the movie at the train stop, he like willfully like sporadically kind of does this miraculous thing. He kind of just runs to the other train that he would never do, and you're thinking he's this type of person, and then throughout the movie he's this other type of person. but like you kind of forget up until near the end of the movie when they replay that, and you're like, oh, it makes sense. Like she kind of made him this way, and it's like, oh, I understand why. Like, you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's like they showed you character development before showing you everything, and it was like, it didn't make me like confused. It made me like, oh, it was like, I don't know. It was like, I don't know.
It was
a little thing there. Found it neat.
No, I found it
was like
to be a
spoiler
very
alert,
enjoyable.
but not. I don't know how else to explain it.
I mean, at this point, yeah, like we'll put a time code on when the movie discussion ends, so people can skip that.
No, I already said before this, like, don't watch the rest of it if we're talking about it.
Well, I mean, are we gonna like end the show on this movie discussion?
What?
Are we gonna talk about more stuff after the movie discussion?
I just said for anyone watching, just stop watching this episode until you've seen the movies. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know if they want to watch. If they want to watch what we talk about when we're done discussing the movies, they could. I'll put the time coded if I have to. Anyway, so I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I figured you would. It is a weird movie, but I
love when everything started happening, like when they plugged him in and everything, like.
Oh yeah.
Even just like in the office, like just seeing him talking to the doctor and everything before it goes to his bedroom. Like
I do really like it whenever he talks to the fake doctor. Yeah. Like it's just so interesting because you have like this really intelligent person who's speaking to him, and like he's like, and he's like, he's so professional. Like even when he realized, like even when the doctor realizes it's just a figment of his imagination, like he doesn't actually exist. Oh, this is the process. I'm not the real doctor. Like I just found that to be fascinating. So casual about the entire thing.
I love that scene that like really made me feel uncomfortable. Like after the whole that one guy started to be revealed to date the girlfriend, like that one trippy scene where like the he's crawling on the floor and his face is all disfigured, and I'm like, oh, he's a monster. It's like, oh, you could. It's not subtle, but it was like, oh, I hate this guy even more now. Good.
Yeah, it's like, that was Elijah Wood's character, right?
Yeah, hate Elijah Wood now. Hate him.
Yeah, Elijah Wood.
I remember, by the way, seeing the opening credits and saying, "Oh, so and so's in this movie. Oh, so and so," and then like seeing them come into their first frame, like Mark Ruffalo and everyone, Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. Like, oh wow, this is gonna be a good movie.
I recognized everyone in the movie when I saw that too, except for the guy who plays the doctor. That was like the one actor I wasn't familiar with.
I've seen him in a few movies. I forget the name.
I think I've seen him before. I just don't know what his name is.
Was he in the Dark Knight trilogy or no?
I don't remember. The Dark Knight trilogy didn't leave a big impression on me.
I remember once in psychology class in high school seeing this one movie about a man transitioning into a woman, and I think he played the main character.
Okay.
I forget the name of that movie.
I don't know. But yeah, like I just think it's like it was super interesting to see Jim Carrey in this role too, because I know he's a good actor because I've seen movies where he's in where I really like him. He's a very try-hard actor in everything he does, but sometimes that gets super annoying.
Ooh, just quickly.
We did talk.
Did you hear about that one show he's doing soon on Showtime?
Maybe.
Called Kidding. It's like he's what's it like?
It's like a more dramatic show, right?
What's that old show from the 90s with the one dude in the vest? It's like kind of a parody of that show. What's his name?
I don't know.
Not Blue's Clues. It was.
Wait, is this a more serious tone show, or am I thinking of something else?
It's like definitely more serious, but like
It's interesting.
It's called Kidding. It comes out.
I heard about it
on the 9th of September on Showtime. Definitely gonna see it. It's an episodic show. It's like a short series, but yeah, I'm excited for that one.
I'll check it out. So what I was saying.
Yeah, sorry.
So what I was saying though is like Jim Carrey. I mean, I think like whenever people talk about comedic actors taking on a serious role, everyone kind of has theirs. Adam Sandler, a lot of people will reference either Funny People or Punch Drunk Love, movie that I talked to you a little bit about last episode. And for Jim Carrey, the main one to mention is Internal Spotlight. And I think another movie that really displays his acting skills is The Truman Show. I really enjoy that movie a lot. Mm-hmm. But I'd say even in that one, he's a little goofy. I found that one. He feels like a sitcom character because that's the way he.
I found that one the most serious role I've seen him in before seeing this one, and then I saw this one. I'm like, wow, he's completely like he's really going at it.
What about that one scene though?
Except for that one scene. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, let's
talk
about
that. Not for a minute. That was more than a minute long. That was. I mean, like I told you on the phone, like it was weird. It was out of place. There was everything wrong about it, but they both looked like they were having so much fun in that scene. I could not help but laugh. It made I liked it, sort of.
Yeah.
Not fully, but you know what I mean. It was enjoyable at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I watched it and I was just, I didn't hate it. Like it was interesting because it was just such a weird thing they insert in the movie. But you just got, like I get it. He's reliving a memory where he was a child, so you're seeing him act like a child. It makes sense. But I'm just like watching the entire thing and I'm like, I don't know, like I'm losing my train of thought. Just seeing, like, I don't know, the noises he's making. It seemed like especially silly to me. Like it seemed sillier than often he gets in his comedy movies. And I'm just thinking, I don't know if I like this or not. This is just kind of weird.
I completely disconnected from the movie for a bit. I was just looking at a behind the scenes clip of him and Kate Winslet like getting their chemistry in check for the movie. That's all I was seeing, and I liked it. That's how I viewed it as. I guess that helps, Is her name Kate Winslet?
What?
The actress, Kate Winslet?
I think so, yeah.
Winslet? I don't know. She was good in this movie, too. She played a good character. She script made it one thing. She kind of made it her own. She did good.
Oh, yeah, no, she took full
was an
control
oddball
of
herself.
Very enjoyable. I mean, I really like every character in this movie. Obviously, Elijah Wood isn't like super likable in it. I don't think they make him too unlikable to the point though, where it's just you hate seeing him. He's kind of doing a shady thing that you're not really supportive of.
Yeah. I remember at first in the beginning of the movie, even before you even find out he's dating the girl, you already get that sense he's going to after he gets first revealed, like going up to the car, like, hey, what are you doing here, kind of thing. Like it looked like a fast forward kind of point, and that was the first thing I kind of remember. Like, is this what we're gonna be doing? Like present, future kind of stuff. It kind of felt like that way from that first scene. But yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one scene, not that other kid scene that we were just talking about, but the one when you get the kid actors, but they're like doing their voices with that. That was cute. Like, all right, kill me with the pillow. It's like, I don't know, it was adorable. It's like, and like she was like, hi, Mrs. Whatever. He's killing me, something like that. She's looking through the window. That was fun. That looked like an improvised scene that they they had the script, they looked at the screen, they had to just dub over it, and it was like they just had fun with that. Looked like there was a lot of heart and passion into this movie. It was good.
Absolutely. I think it's like very close to a masterpiece. Right now, my final rating of it is a 9 out of 10 on my IMDb, and I might upgrade it once I watch it again. I really liked it. Like like the only issue I really have with it is just like that one or two weird scene. I'm like, I'm not sure if I like this yet. Maybe when I rewatch it, I'll appreciate it more. But it just to me, it just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. It felt like a regular Jim Carrey movie during that one scene. But again, like there is a context to it. It doesn't just get really weird and like almost creepy for no reason. It's just.
What'd you think of Kirsten Dunst's character arc? That whole reveal at the end of her past. Like,
very good.
She helped kind of expose all this. She was a victim of it all.
I haven't seen that many movies with her in it that I liked. And I know that like a lot of people say she's a great actress, and definitely don't judge her based on the fucking Spider-Man movies or anything. But she was really good in this movie.
Her reputation's a bit lost for me after what she said about the recent movies, about how like, oh, they're just making. She was like very, salty about everything, and it was like, okay,
about what?
They're just making a bunch of Spider-Man movies, and it's like, yeah, they're just doing this to make money. Ours was better anyway. She was like very salty about everything. She was like, oh, don't do that. Come on, have respect.
I can agree that you don't need that.
It's like it doesn't matter what her opinion is, whether it's right or wrong. It's like that's just not nice to say.
I can agree that she probably shouldn't act like that, because there are some people who are working on these movies that definitely care about what they're doing, especially the actors who get to, play the roles of characters they grew up loving. But it's absolutely true what she's saying. Disney's making Spider-Man movies to make money, and what's the guy's name? Sam Raimi. He did. It was definitely a passion project for him when they made the original trilogy. You can tell that he really cared about it.
I kind of also slightly disagree with it too, though, because like any movie, they're making money off of it anyway. That's like, you can't just say that. Oh, it's not like Sam. Yeah. I would kind of disagree.
Here's the thing: Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movie. It's his movies. It's his personality attached. Disney hires directors. They like. I'm trying to think of the right way. It was still
also Sony's movie at the time too. Anyway,
it's the directors of Disney Marvel movies don't have as much as a say as you would think they would. I mean, Edgar Wright got removed from a project because he tried to have more of a say than they would let him. I think that there are plenty of people who work on Spider-Man Homecoming that really cared about it, and I really enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming. I think I might have liked it more than the Sam Raimi movies, because Sam Raimi's movies were just a little, I don't know, they were a little too much for me. They were a little too silly, but they definitely had more style and more of a personality than Homecoming did. Homecoming was very, it was a kind of a standard Marvel movie.
Despite that, they're both making money anyway, and that's their intention anyway, so that's kind of the point.
Well, obviously, the studio's intention, but I'm saying that the director's intention with Homecoming was to make money, and the Sam Raimi's intention was to make a movie trilogy based off something he loved. And yes, he gets paid to do it, because you have to get paid to do it to keep doing it.
And also Sony needed the money too, but yeah.
Yeah. Again, the studio absolutely is doing it for money. I'm saying that you can have a director that loves what they're doing and happens to make money, or a director who's doing it for money.
I think it's still both fashion project for everyone, sort of, kind of, anyway.
Not for everyone. Yeah. Just saying. Yeah. I like Homecoming a lot. I'm not shit on Homecoming, and I do think that she doesn't need to act like that. But yeah, I don't think she's wrong.
I think she's wrong to say anything in the
I do agree.
She said, why she said it.
Act like that.
That's all I was getting at, just why she was saying, not what she was saying.
I agree. I would, I wouldn't do that. That just seems unnecessary.
Could have just said all that. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, but I want to, if you say something, I want to give my input on it. I had an opinion. I wanted to share it. Zachary just covers his ears and starts squealing. All right. So are we done talking about Eternal Sunshine, or do you have more to say?
Highly recommend it. All right, the party. Let's go.
Yellow. What do you? I want to know though. What do you rate it?
Sunshine.
Yeah.
8.
8 out of 10?
Yeah, I'd say.
Cool.
I feel like The Departed's better.
Right.
I don't know.
What?
I feel like The Departed's better. However, I would.
I do agree. It's a better movie.
Is shorter, so maybe I would watch that one more. I don't know. Rewatchability wise, because it's shorter.
Departed, I think. Well, it's a really weird comparison. The movies have nothing. There's not a single thing in common.
No, but just on the scale of which is more likely, if I saw them both on at the same time, which would I click to click on?
I would watch The Departed
because it's shorter.
I'll just say my score right now. The Departed is a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't have a single problem with the movie.
They're both experiences though, which not all movies you can say that about. They're both really good.
The Departed, I'm gonna rewatch it, and I'm gonna rewatch it soon with my brother because he hasn't seen it. I was asking my dad if he saw it, and he has seen it. It's one of his favorite movies too.
Yeah.
And my brother never saw it. I'm like, oh my god, this is so up his alley. So I'm gonna rewatch it maybe in a week or two. But I really loved it. I just think the entire thing is so excellently crafted. Every single performance is great. It's entertaining from the first second of the movie. It's not like you have this. It's not like some movies where you have this good opening, but then you have like 20 minutes of slow shit until it gets interesting again, or even sometimes more than that. It's just starts off great, and the pace never slows down. It's great in the first 5 minutes and equally entertaining start to finish. It's just perfect.
I remember it being at like, you know, because it was first time seeing it, like trying to understand like where the plot is going, what's it about. Like it took a while until like Leonardo DiCaprio's first scene in that office with the meeting, like understanding like he's the main character, not Matt Damon. I thought Matt Damon was. Leonardo's more so the main character of this film.
I would agree that if I had to pick one main character, I would pick him. But I do also think that it's very much a movie where you're following a bunch of different characters at once. You know, Frank's obviously a really big one. Frank Costello.
I think it's more so like obvious that, you know, Leonardo's from the police side and, you know, from the mafia, and it's like, okay, clearly.
Yeah. You know what's weird? I don't know why I thought this. I thought Jack Nicholson died. I have no idea
he's still
why.
Around, yeah.
Yeah, no idea why I thought he was dead. I've seen him in stuff recently. I thought I heard something about him. I don't. This isn't something I've thought for a really long time. This is something I thought recently. I don't know why though.
I think I saw something like with him and Kirsten Dunst on Netflix, like a Netflix exclusive thing.
Maybe.
Movie. I think I saw. I think it was him in the thumbnail.
Did you say there was someone else?
What? Him and Kirsten
Did you name
Dunst.
2 people?
No, not Kirsten Dunst. Kristen something or other. I forget. But yeah.
Kristen Wiig?
No. She's blonde.
She always delightful.
She was on Parks and Rec as Eagleton's side near the end of
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell, thank you. Yeah, her and Jack Nicholson were in something on Netflix recently.
Interesting.
But
who
was that one actor I got confused with? John Goodman and Alec Baldwin? Which of the two is it?
It's Alec Baldwin's in the movie. John Goodman.
It's not that you said last time. I remember watching the episode, and you said like, I don't know why that was a weird comparison. Why you got mixed up with those two? It was just like they both are like leader kind of characters. They're just like very stoic looking dudes. I just get them confused sometimes.
I guess so. They both have like similar body types too. They're both like, I can understand that to an extent.
Both like serious, and they could be very comedic at the same time.
You know what one of my favorite things about this movie was, and this is like going into more of a technical stance. I think the movie was edited like excellently. It feels like the entire movie just kind of feels like one really long scene that doesn't end, because the pace doesn't really ever slow down, and it's just you'll have like these scenes that like they have like this massive soundtrack throughout the movie. There's so many songs they use, and like whenever a scene transitions into another scene, they won't like the scene will ever like fade out or anything, or like it'll just be like the music keeps playing into the next scene, and then the song will change in that scene and then transition to the next one. They just like, again, it just feels like one really long scene, and I think there's a couple of parts where this breaks a little bit, especially near the ending of the movie, like the last 10 minutes. But it just has like such this excellent pace throughout the entire movie, and it just like it doesn't slow down for me ever. Even some of the scenes that are technically more slow, like the dinner date when Matt Damon's dating, I forget his name in the movie. What was his character? I can't remember his character's name for some reason. I'm really bad with names. But he's dating that one girl. It's been a long time for you though. I just saw it. He's dating that one girl, and she like that first date scene, like that's a little slower. And then when Leonardo DiCaprio also meets with her for like the therapy session, that's a slower scene. But it's just like what they're talking about is interesting enough, and the characters are so good that it still feels like it's not a slow scene. You're just really enjoying it. It's kind of like watching a good scene in Better Call Saul, a show that's like technically super slow but still very interesting.
It's been a while since I saw it, but like throughout the movie they were talking about some interesting topics and like delving deep into them, right? Such as a lot of talk about anxiety, like, and just like really fucking horrible anxiety too, like because like Leonardo DiCaprio has probably the most warranted of anxiety life in existence right now. So much stuff escalates. Like honestly, like you get so tense because of how much he gets sucked into this. He's aware of like what he's getting himself into, but he has no idea, as well as Matt Damon, like how much things are going to get complicated with other people getting in the way, and like it's so much. And you as a viewer, you're just trying to remember all this stuff, and you're like, oh, this thing's about to happen. Oh, this person's coming in. Oh, clashing heads. Oh, what's going to happen? I think I know what, you know.
Just like I love. part of Leonardo DiCaprio's character, one thing I really loved about him, and maybe this says a lot about me, I loved it when he had someone antagonizing him, and then he would just immediately beat the fucking shit out of them, because you like want that character to get his ass kicked. Yeah. Like I think like there's like he orders the cranberry juice at like the bar at like very beginning of the movie, and the one guy says, "What, are you on your period?" And I'm just like thinking, "Wow, this fucking douchebag!" And he grabs a glass, smashes it over his head, and just starts beating the living hell out of him.
Yeah.
I just love that he like. I just love it when he breaks and just starts fucking hitting people.
I love it when
he fucking attacks those people in that one like restaurant or convenience store, and they're part of like the fucking mob. Like it's just.
I love it when like some scenes when he's like talking to Jack Nicholson, like he knows he's on the police side, but he's trying to play as if he's on the mafia. But like it's the whole trust thing. I'm always into stuff where it's like you have to. One character trying to win another character's trust, like a leader type character, very intimidating type character. And Jack Nicholson was very like, if you look at me the wrong way, I'll kill you. That kind of dude.
I agree.
Stuff like at the bar, like when they're just talking, like it's like if you were that person in the scene, like it's not like you just gotta last for 5 minutes. Like you're with this kind of dude, it's Jack Nicholson type character for like hours, days on end straight. Just trying to like say stuff to keep a conversation while not trying to piss him off, because one bad thing you'll say is gonna rub them the wrong way.
Can I make two weird comparisons?
Yeah.
So one of them, this one, like, okay, I want to make this clear. So I think Frank Costello kind of reminds me of Robert California in The Office. Now, clearly, Frank Costello is way better character than Robert California, okay. But I just like picture. Like Robert California, if he was doing what Frank did, he'd be a very similar character of just the ways they talk.
Yeah.
Just the crazy, demented ways they talk, where they just come off as like full-blown fucking sociopaths. Yeah. The other one I want to make, and this is just one of my favorite things about the movie, and it's one of the things that you were like using to sell it to me too in the last DuckCast when we had created this segment on the spot, is the whole fact that nobody fucking knows like who's doing what in this movie. I compare a lot of stuff to fucking Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but I kind of like picture Breaking Bad, like how like a lot of people didn't have all the pieces to the puzzle, but you did have some characters that knew what was going on, like Aaron Paul, Jesse and Walter kind of knew everything that was going on. Like Walter had a couple secrets he kept from Jesse, but you had characters who understood everyone's role. In this movie, every single character has like a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Like they know one connection, but they don't know who this person is or how this person's connected to this person.
And the whole time you're like struggling as a viewer, like, okay, when are these two people going to meet, and how is one going to tell the other without saying too much? Because again, it's a very should I trust you kind of movie. Like, it gets really.
And then it pretty much ends with everyone dying except for Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg just won the entire Infinity War right there.
I love Mark Wahlberg in this movie, by the way. He's such an asshole.
He's used so little, but like...
Yeah, he's just such a dick. Like, I think he is the biggest dick in the movie.
But he wins.
He does win. He does. I love like, how they just...
Rewinding back a bit, in the movie, like, that elevator scene with Matt Damon and Leonardo.
Uh-huh.
When he kills Leonardo, or like when the other dude, the other cop gets exposed for being part of the mafia. That was like, whoa! Yeah, it's like things start escalating, and then he kills the other one because like I can't. It's just no one trusts each other by the end of it.
You think you were the only one that they sent out for this? That was great.
Even at the end, it's like, did Mark Wahlberg know that Matt Damon was part of the mafia, or did he just really hate him? Like, it's just all these questions.
I think he knew a fair amount. That's my assumption. I just love how like the last 10 minutes, you really only have one big main character death throughout the movie, and he's not even that big of a character. I forget the guy's name, but he's the guy who's working with Leonardo DiCaprio.
The boss.
And gets thrown out the fucking window and like dies from
the
like
roof, I think impact. It was.
Oh, he dies from fucking impact though. Yeah. And then like it's in the last 10 minutes, just every single main character is axed off, except I guess aside from like Mark Wahlberg and Alec Baldwin.
What did you? I laughed during this so much. Like it was just so. I was like, they were building this thing up, and like like the reaction you got was priceless. Like the funeral scene and Matt Damon's reaction to the wife, like realizing the wife was sleeping with Leonardo DiCaprio's character was like, ah, so good.
And I guess also that I guess also the therapist didn't die. So those are three main characters that made it till the end. I just love how like when Matt Damon walks in with the groceries, it's like the final minute of the movie. He just like sees Mark Wahlberg and it's just like fine.
That was a clip that I saw before seeing this movie, and when I saw that clip in the movie, I was like, "Oh, it's from this movie!" Like it looked like something from a classic movie, but it's like, "Oh."
And you got like that final shot. The rat walks into frame because there's a lot of rats in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that scene.
So good.
I love that scene when Matt Damon and Leonardo finally meet. You know, like him congratulating Leonardo, like, "Oh, good job!" Like after like Leonardo's job is all done and everything. He's trying to be like, "Oh, you're the mole."
A nice and subtle detail, though, is it's not the first time you see them. I don't think it's the first time you see them in frame together. I think you see them during the training scenes, but they just never make eye contact, and the film never like brings attention to it.
They never talk to each other until later.
Yeah, so like it's just so funny. Like they were literally doing the exact same training together, and they didn't recognize.
But I love how this movie doesn't just, it doesn't start their not in a way relationship, not a good relationship, but like, in a way. They don't start right away there. It's like over phone calls over time, like not knowing who each other is, like that stuff. Like that was crazy.
There's also that fucking anxiety driving scene where like they walk out of the porn movie theater. And they're like,
I remember that.
Kind of going after each other.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them are suspicious of like the other.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking right then and there he's going to see something side of his face or something. Oh, man. Security cameras, nothing.
It was a good one. I really don't think there's a single thing wrong with it. I think it's a perfect movie.
That scene near the end, Jack Nicholson's deaths. He got revealed to be another mole or something. Another informant. Like, oh my god.
FBI
just everyone was lying to each other.
Well, it wasn't even revealed. It was revealed earlier in the movie. It was kind of confirmed there.
And the fact that like he reveals it to Matt Damon's character, who is like the son, kind of like a son to him, and he's like, "Oh, great, you too."
Yeah.
Yeah. Characters that you dislike because they're bad dudes. At the same time, you still feel bad for them because like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, no.
It's like.
Honestly,
think of it like he got put in as a kid in the mafia, and like he spent most of his life like being like this son character to this dude. Turns out to go behind your back, and it's like you just wasted all your life being this mole for nothing.
I guess to some extent
you gotta like survive out in this world.
Sympathize. I think the like characters I really sympathize with that much is Leonardo DiCaprio and the therapist.
Even like think like if at that very moment he thought like I just don't want to do this anymore, I'm gonna forget everything I did, but it's like at that moment you're also like, oh wait, I can't because I've done all this stuff and I can't take any of it back.
I don't think he would be sympathetic if you see him as a kid at the beginning.
You just kind of put yourself in that character. You kind of see him as like this
his
background.
You kind of see him as this shy kid. You kind of just see him as like this shy kid who's like trying to, take care of himself at the beginning. So I can understand how you could see Matt Damon's character as sympathetic, but.
I'm not even saying so much that I'm saying like put yourself in that character, put yourself in that perspective. Think how you would think.
I wouldn't know how I would think because if I was like born into that situation, I'd be a completely different person than I am now. If I was put into that situation right now, I wouldn't do it.
Well, what you're thinking now, I mean, like in that situation already. You know what?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
If I was raised like Matt Damon's character was, I think there's a great chance I could turn out like that.
Any other characters we missed it? Did Alec Baldwin do much in this movie?
He was just kind of he was just kind of like there to instruct people and talk. And
just there.
He was fine. I mean, I liked his character. I don't even know why I'm really calling him. He really seems like a main character because he's like a very familiar actor. Yeah, I think that's everyone. I mean, there's Mr. French, I think they called him. That was the one guy who was always with Frank. It might have been, I think that was the name they called him by, and he was the guy who beat the shit out of Leonardo DiCaprio after he smashed the drink on the one guy at the bar and saying like there's people that you can't hit.
You know, another thing I just remembered, like, remember one of the mafia guys, like, before dying, like, him and Leonardo are whispering on that couch, and, like, he finds out that Leonardo's the mole right before he dies, and he's, like, trying to scream out to the others, like, hey, this is him, and then he just dies. Leonardo DiCaprio's like, you know?
Yeah.
I just remember that scene, that was tense.
Yeah, you find out, just like how there was... Just like how there was two, like, rats from the mafia, or from whatever Frank's gang was.
Yeah.
Like, in the police force, there was 2 police officers with Frank. I really liked that. Yeah, like, there's a lot of, like, as much as I like Eternal Sunshine, again, like, yeah, we definitely have had a lot more to talk about with this one, like, a lot more details to jump.
Well, it's a longer movie, too, yeah.
It is a longer movie, but I mean,
more
really...
characters, I guess, too.
Really, when you get down to it, it's only about, like, 40 minutes longer than Eternal Sunshine.
And honestly, Eternal Sunshine, there's only so many characters that they gave enough to. It's mostly the main 2, and as well as Kirsten Dunst and the scientist.
Yeah, the chemistry between the main 2 is really good. And then, like, the 3... Like, anyone involved...
Mark Ruffalo is more of a supporting character for a supporting character kind of thing, so... Yeah. That's just what it is. It's not a bad movie at all. We have...
I do question why you would ever get high while doing something like that.
Doing something like what?
You know, like they start smoking weed when they're doing that.
Weird. I love also about that movie, like, just the idea of, like, you know, this is not just some, like, it kind of, not exactly sci-fi, but, like, came up with, like, a concept, like, oh, what if there was this technology that made you forget? Like, there was, like, him in the waiting room with the woman and her box full of, like, her dead dog and all that. And the old man with his wife stuff, I think it was, like, all these, enough people, not just a few people, enough people were, like, wanting to go through this procedure, like, makes you think, like, this is messed up in a way. Unless if you want to do it, but that's you.
If I had to fit...
Good topic.
Oh, how fucked up is it in that one scene where, like, the one person's calling and they said, like, no, you've had your memory removed too many times this month. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
I forgot.
Whose life fucked up. This guy has, like, stuff that he wants to remove several times a month. But I think if I was going to...
His character Joel was really strong, though. Like, he was, like, immediately like, oh, I'm starting to lose stuff. I'm like, I don't like this. Can we stop, please?
Yeah, I want to stop this. And but he can't. He can only talk. The only people he can talk to are figments of his imagination.
To be fair, though, it's also in a way because he's the kind of character that doesn't, like, even though he went through with something, he's the kind of character that would not want to go through with it. And so the fact that he did, of course, he would kind of be the one to kind of revert back to that status. Like, never mind. So it's like it's like good for him for, like, being an outgoing kind of person trying to do stuff he never really does. And but then he's like, I lose my train of thought. Damn. Anyway, trying to make a point.
So I just want to say this real quick. Just going off of what you said with, like, being a little sci-fi. Yeah, if I was gonna put Eternal Sunshine, and if I had, like, add, you know, like, 3 little genres to the IMDb page, you know, I would put in romance, sci-fi, and psychological thriller. Like, those are the 3 categories I think are the most fitting for it. With The Departed, I think I'd put it, like, action, obviously, action, thriller. Maybe a little bit
drama.
of, I don't know, maybe mystery. Drama. There's quite a few. You can even put, like, a little bit of comedy in there because the movie is really funny too. On top of it, like, Mark Wahlberg is hilarious. Mark Wahlberg is hilarious to listen to. Mr. French and Frank Costello
are hilarious. It was said in Boston, right? I love that Boston accent.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg, I'm going to say this right now. I know a lot of people really love him. I've seen him in so much more shit I hate than stuff I thought he was good in.
What was that one movie about the Boston Marathon he was in? Have you ever seen that one?
No.
His character was a made-up character, which is kind of BS, but
I think it's on Netflix.
I don't know. I
think it's on Netflix. I think I saw something like that with Mark Wahlberg.
It's a good movie, though.
Because, I mean, I've seen him in The Lovely Bones, which is bad. I've seen him in fucking The Happening, which is bad. He's in those fucking Transformers movies now. Like, he's a great actor. He's like the most.
He just has bad.
He can be. He can be. I just haven't seen a lot of his good stuff, but this was one of them. Honest to God, like this is saying something about him. It's also saying about how many movies I've seen. I need to see more of him in it.
Wait.
Up until this, I think Ted was my favorite.
I'm saying wait, Jesus.
Oh, I didn't see that your headphones were out.
I'm back.
I didn't see his route. I was saying this says a lot about fucking him. Like, I mean, this says says a lot about fucking him. I don't know about that, but anyway.
Wait,
you'll hear when you're editing. Okay. This says a lot about the shitty movies he's in, but it also says a lot about the lack of movies of him I've seen. Up until this, I think fucking Ted was my favorite role of his. Right. And that's not a good movie. It's not. That's like an okay comedy. That's all it is. Like Mark Wahlberg in nothing but shit. He was in fucking Daddy's Home, which I watched with my mom and hated so much.
Wait, didn't? George from that was on episode 10 of Metal Mouth. Like he said on that episode, like he was an extra in Daddy's Home too. I think we were talking about that a bit. He was an extra in Daddy's Home too. He was like, on my episode, he was like, yeah, guys, by the way, go see Daddy's Home 2 in theaters because like that was when it was out.
That's funny.
Meme. That was so funny.
Mark Wahlberg got demoted to extra in the sequel.
I hated the upcoming trailers for those movies. Like every time they would come on, it was like it was that year's like just stuff that gets in your face when you're like scrolling through, or on Twitch or YouTube, an ad comes up and like that's one of them. And you're like, no, it's unskippable, and like, come on.
Yeah, or it was even worse though because Bad Moms, the Bad Moms Christmas movie was coming out too, and it was the exact same movie. They did the Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters female reboot the same year.
And then you get family members that are like, "Hey, this movie's coming out! Oh my god, I'm so excited!" And you're like, "Kill me! Just stop, please."
I talked to Kevin. But have you seen Happy Time Murders yet?
We can't talk about that. We got 3 minutes left, but I saw that movie. I want to tell you, don't see it unless if you're high or drunk. I'm telling you right now, it's way worse than I thought. I thought I was going to be at least some jokes. One joke I laughed at. It was. Is
this the full circle thing?
No.
Oh.
We'll get to that, I guess, some other time. But
let's end the episode on. We have enough time.
Okay. Quickly.
We're only an hour in. Let's do an extra 10 minutes. But I will say this: Kevin told me about it, and he said he really loved it.
It's a plot that's been used before. That there's jokes that's like way too crude, and it's like we get it. It's like just one of those movies. And Melissa McCarthy's character, at some points, it's like because we're in 2018, she just has this whole standing up for women kind of character every now and then.
Oh yeah. Like, well, I said it in the last episode. I think it looked like potentially the worst movie of 2000.
I was so optimistic.
I know you were, and I'm still probably going to go see it with friends, and we are going to be drunk. I'll enjoy it more. Yeah, but as long as that goes through a plan, because I'm not going to be happy if we're not drinking before this movie like we talked about. But what I will say, I doubt I will. Like, I wasn't even optimistic about it. I thought it looked terrible. What I heard on Reddit, the only thing I read about it at all was something that someone posted on Reddit, is they said that this was like a random user too, this wasn't even like someone I follow. They said like the first 10 minutes was kind of funny, then after that it's like a boring buddy cop movie.
Yeah. I read some reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. There was one that made me laugh. That was in this movie, Melissa McCarthy has more chemistry with a puppet than any other character that she's had in another movie she's been in. I love that. I love it so much.
I have no impression on Melissa McCarthy. I know that a lot of people hate her. I don't know if I've seen a movie with her in it because normally her movies don't look appealing to me, so I just don't see them.
You may not like this movie. I personally kind of like it. The movie Spy. It's another comedy action movie that's like rolling of the eyes, but at the same time.
Look, I'm open to it.
I've seen it enough times. I like it. It's a guilty pleasure. I
don't dislike Melissa McCarthy because I don't have an opinion on her. Maybe there's something she did that I like. I just know I know that she's like she's liked by some people, but like they're normally not very critical people. They're normally exactly what her movie's intended audience is, and that's not me and you.
Normies. But
those fucking normies. Incel for life.
Going back to this Happy Time Murders movie, there was Elizabeth Banks is in this movie too, and she's like she's like. There's one point in the movie. I'm not gonna spoil too much for you, but like there's one point that she comes back near the end of the movie, and she comes back just to get thrown out of the scene again. She just you'll watch it and you'll see what happens, and you'll be like, oh, she's just clearly getting paid for that day. It was like, I don't know. It looked like a movie also. Actress? Oh, what? Sorry.
How good of an actress is Elizabeth Banks? I don't think I've seen her anything that I like.
Like, this is such a terrible excuse to like her, but like she was in the Power Rangers movie that happened, so it's like, okay, thanks.
I mean, maybe there's a TV show she was on where I liked her before. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything with her that I've ever enjoyed. She just seems to do a lot of like dumb comedy movies like this.
I don't remember if the movie was good or not. Have you ever seen the Seth Rogen movie, Zack and Miri Make a Porno?
No.
Okay, she was in that. But yeah.
I feel like there's something. Okay, she was in Role Models, and I thought when I was younger, but it wasn't because of her. And as an adult, I don't like the movie so much anymore.
Hey, how about those commercials she used to do with whatever company that was? She was in a lot of those.
I think she's literally just in a bunch of shitty comedies. Has she ever had like that one breakaway role that was like actually pretty good? Because I mean,
she's
like,
in most comedies.
You know, like
it's weird. She's in comedies, but she plays serious roles most of the time.
Yeah.
Not in this Happy Time Murders one.
I mean, again, like, is it just because you're in a bunch of shitty comedies doesn't mean you're incapable of doing something? I'll like say it again. Freaking Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler have proven that to us.
She seems like the type of actress that she's kind of like a Jon Hamm, where she's like, not so much. I think Jon Hamm has done more work. Like, I haven't seen Mad Men, but
Jon Hamm is awesome in some of the stuff he's in.
He's like a serious actor who is mostly in comedies nowadays, but she's like a serious actress who decides to do comedies, kind of like Rashida Jones. Except Rashida Jones, I respect more, but yeah.
I like Rashida Jones in The Office and Parks and Rec, so I'll give her that.
Andrew Tribeca, I love her in, but yeah.
I watched an episode of that, hated it, but I only watched one.
When the show came out for the first time, there was a whole marathon, like, episodic, and like there was a bit of a story going on. It was like that was a good way to enjoy it.
I really liked what am I saying? I'm trying to think.
Going back to Happy Time Murders quickly, like because we only have.
I want like the full circle thing. So we gotta like do that
some other time.
Next episode.
Happy Time Murders, like.
How important is it? I mean, you got me enticed.
You won't care. But like Happy Time Murders, like it's the type of movie that like the people behind it had a lot of fun with the puppetry to make it, but like, you know, just watching the movie, clearly it's not good. It's the writing's off. They spent a lot of money, I feel like, on the ventriloquism and everything. Yeah. It was just very crude humor, and it's like, we get the joke. The one joke I'll tell you about, it's not really a spoiler, but like in the beginning of the movie, the very first time a puppet says "fuck you" to a person is legitimately funny. That's the only time I laughed, because it was like, you never really see a Muppet doing that. It's like some guy was like insulting this puppet, like a stupid bunny, something like that, and it's like the lips were trembling. It's like, fuck you, like out in the open, broad daylight, like out in the city. Like, it was just so funny. But other than that, that was
yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know, like,
the plot is so bad. It's like any buddy cop movie plot. I feel like they used it somewhere.
I mean, I used to fucking think cop movies were like a lost cause too, until I saw Hot Fuzz, and they made like one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm like,
Gotham is kind of something like that, which I enjoy. I like those type of cop kind of cop drama kind of stuff, but like this was as a Muppet comedy with Melissa McCarthy and a puppet. I don't know. It was dumb.
If you want a really good comedy, check out Chips.
Chips. The 8 Chips?
It was the 2017 release from last year. Just check out a trailer and you'll immediately know that. Like, this is I'm not wrong. This is the best cop comedy movie ever.
Sarcasm or
no? Not sarcastic. That gets better than Hot Fuzz.
All right. I don't know why I say it like that. All right, so let's end this episode.
Yeah, it sounds good. We're over an hour now.
We should go back to back on our webcams, so then we're our own buddy cop show. Let's do it.
All right, but like it's gonna be a little weird because I'm closer.
Wait. There we are.
This is gonna be the intro. It's gonna be the intro picture that you use in the season 5 intro for this episode.
All right.
It probably will be.
Actually, I should keep those sunglasses on. Yeah.
See, I'm the funny fat one because I do the double chin thing.